Let's understand the arrow function. So the arrow functions are such a way that they don't have any name, and it is something like that, like dynamically created. You can see the arrow functions in many libraries and something in the inbuilt implementation. I'll just show you a quick sample implementation for this, and we'll also try a real-time application for that so that you can understand the arrow functions in more detail. So let's create a variable here, which is holding a function that we are going to create as an arrow function. And let's say call it's an add. So I'm going to mention it in this way, return n1 plus n2. And the parameters will be n1 number, n2 number. This is our function. So now this is just a normal variable that we are assigning a function to it. These are the two parameters for our function n1 and n2. This is the body of our function, and the return type for this arrow function we should return here. Let's create an equivalent representation in normal function the traditional way. So here is the name of our function. Let's quickly comment it to understand it better. N1 as a number, n2 the return type is number, the return n1 plus n2. It's exactly similar. This is your function name, these are the parameter, this is the return type, and this is what your function is doing, and it is returning something here. So this is your function body, right? In the similar fashion, in arrow function as well, this is your function body as it is. There is a slight difference in the function name. Arrow function don't have any particular function name. So we are just creating an arrow function here. This is an arrow function, and then we are assigning it to a variable which is holding it. I'm just randomly creating some different name because it's colliding here, or maybe we'll comment it. Okay. Then the parameters are also exactly similar. This is the way we mention the parameters, and if you need to mention the return type of your function, you need to mention the colon number. Now, how to call this particular arrow function which is stored in this particular add variable? It's exactly similar the way you call this add, then you give the necessary parameters n1 and n2, and here also you can observe it is giving you the option 1 comma 2 and give it, and now it is going to return a number to me. So let's quickly use a console. Let's see the outcome. We should get the 3. So this is how we create an arrow function. So this is with return type. You can remove this return type, and you can just console here itself. So this is without return type, and in this case, this console is not needed. It will still work in a similar way. If you don't want to give any input to your function, of course, you can do that. I'll just print hi here. No need to give any inputs. Let's create the equivalent representation over here. This is our add function. We don't need any inputs to it. We don't need any inputs, and we are not returning anything out of it. So we'll also remove this, or we can also make it void here, or we can remove it. And here we are just saying console hi. So this is an equivalent representation for the arrow function that we have created. So this is the way we create the basic arrow functions. Now we'll see with a detailed example how it will be used in some production scenarios or to make some complicated logic work. Let me just undo this functionality so that it will be helpful for you when you will download the code. I'm just commenting out all these functionalities. So now I need to create a function. I need to create a function which which take as an input two variables, and it also takes input what need to be performed on that two variables. It means generally the logic will be written inside a function, But now in this case, the logic also we need to pass it. So it means we are going to pass a function as a parameter. So let's try to create that. It's a function. The name of this is take action. And here we need, for example, two inputs, N1 and N2. Let's create first the basic one before going advanced, and return N1 plus N2. I'm just performing an addition for now. Later we'll make it more complicated. 1, 2. And as we are returning, so let me just console as well. Perfect. So now in this case, always there is a there is an addition happening. But let's say while you're calling this particular take action with data, you also want to pass some function. You also want to pass some logic that should happen on these variables. So the logic also you want to pass as an input. It means the function as a parameter. So when you're passing function as a parameter, so there you need arrow function. So let's see how you can pass a function as a parameter. Very first thing, to do that, you need a third input over here. So the third input says, for example, the third input name will be a function, for example, and the type of that I'm giving any here for now. Just the sake of understanding, later I'll change it to the particular function parameters and everything. So here the third parameter is function. So I can pass a third parameter here now. And before doing that, I'll remove this console log. Uh, Okay, I'll also remove this for now. And here I'll try to pass the logic here. So what is the logic I want to pass? I want to pass a function here. So I want to pass an addition function. So how the addition function will be written in the arrow function? So let add, there will be two inputs to it, right? N1 and 2. And then it will return, or let's say we will console here itself N1 plus N2. So this is our arrow function, which is capable of accepting two parameters as an input and performing an addition on top of that. So let's copy this and give it as a third parameter here. What exactly we are doing? We are just giving these third parameter called function. That's it. In this case, we are getting an error here that because we are not returning any number here as a return type. So just remove that. So ideally, what's happening here? You're calling a take action function. You're giving two parameters, 1 and 2. Super cool. 1 and 2. After that, you're also giving a parameter as a function here. This is not going to execute here right away here itself. So this particular function will go here. I need to call function here now to make the execution happen for this. So let's see the output now. We are getting NaN. So what could be the reason for that? Anyone can guess? A quick, I'll just wait for a minute. Okay, so what we have said here, we are giving you the function. This function need two parameters and then it can give you the addition in a console. So what you are doing here, you are accepting that function here, but while calling, you are not giving the necessary parameters to it. So give the necessary parameter N1, N2. So these parameters I am passing here. Let's save it and see 3. So let's see this time we want to take some different action. So I want to again call take action on this number. This time I want to pass like 3 and 5. And this time I want to take some different action called into. And let's see the output now. I'm getting 15. So the same function is getting called, But here you can see we are passing different function at a different call as per our requirement. So this is function as a parameter, we can say, that we are passing in this case. So hope it's very clear. And of course, instead of this any, we can make it more specific, like how many inputs will come for this particular function and what output of this particular function will be. But that's something like an advanced scenario that we will not cover in this particular module. It will be much complicated. So hope you understood.